Hi everyone, I'm Ali GREYMOND. Today I'm answering questions about OCD recovery that you left under my Ask a Question about OCD video. First question is, Hi Ali, I have sensory motor OCD. All I think about is my breathing every second. I can't distract myself and I have constant tight chest and heart hurts. What can I do? So if your thought process is, what if I die? What if something is wrong? What if I'm gonna die? Then the response, what you respond to OCD with is, yep, clearly gonna die. I'm gonna die right now. And then you don't. And so you know what I mean? And then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna die. Yep, still not dead. Okay, now I'm gonna die. Every time this thought comes in of, I think I'm gonna die. Okay, clearly I'm gonna die. And just keep saying that to yourself, and you will see that as you keep doing it and it's not happening, right? Then you start to see through the fog of OCD. So instead of running away from it and trying to control the breathing, you're saying, okay, no matter how I breathe, and then don't try to breathe better, breathe deeper or whatever, because the more you control it, the worse the thoughts are going to get. So breathe as you normally would. Don't try to change it in any way. Don't do anything special. Don't do anything that will keep OCD going. Because that will only make things worse. Like any kind of adjustment to the situation will make OCD worse. Instead, say, okay, clearly I'm gonna die, and I'm choosing to disregard. Keep doing this, you will see that it will start to improve. It's because you are trying to control it. If you're trying to fix it, that's why it's getting worse. Next question is, my obsession involves thoughts like I've sold my soul to the devil, and as an exposure, I have to write, I have sold my soul to the devil for an hour. Will this work? And what points should I keep in mind while doing the exposure work? And what should it be? What should be my reaction to the thought when it pops up randomly during the day? Okay, so this is a very good way to structure a question, how you said. So on purpose exposures versus accidental exposures. So on purpose exposures are, okay, so you write, I've sold my soul to the devil for an hour. And then that's 1 hour out of your day. What are you doing the rest of the day? Obsessing and analyzing? Of course, you're not going to recover that way, right? So, accidental compulsions or accidental exposures are the most important part of recovery, right? That as these thoughts come in throughout the day, you have to say, yeah, clearly sold my soul. You can do the writing down exposure, but really that's just 1 hour out of the day. To be honest, I probably wouldn't bother, especially doing it as one big chunk. What I would do is I would do maybe 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening. So you're always in that zone. And that will keep you kind of riding that wave of refusal more so. But your primary focus has to be at what you are doing when these accidental exposures happen. How are you reacting to those? Also, try to take a look at what you are doing as an avoidance. Are you avoiding watching certain things? Are you avoiding certain numbers, certain colors, those kinds of things, right? So, and then also not avoiding those. I'm not saying on purpose exposures are not good. I just, I don't really see a lot of results from them. If the person is just doing those, but when the thoughts come in accidentally, they do reassurance behaviors, so it's because there's just more of the accidental thoughts than your one event of on-purpose exposures. And the other part of the question is, what points should I keep in mind as I'm doing exposure work? So the biggest point that you should keep in mind is that your exposure work does not stop when you are not writing things down, right? This is your exposure work is not that hour. Your exposure work is your entire day. That's your exposure work. And what should be my reaction to this thought? Always disregarding. Has to do with the devil, I'm disregarding. That's it. Has to do, or just, broadly has to do with religion, I'm disregarding. right? Because that's just religious OCD. So, nope, choosing to disregard, choosing to move on. And just keep going like that. And it's like it will feel to you like you're taking a chance, but the more you push yourself, the less anxiety it will have. And again, this is over the course of months, not days. Um, but as you keep going, you will see that the anxiety starts to drop and it's easier for you to dismiss it. Where before it was really intense and felt very real, it will feel a little bit less real as the time goes on. But I would give yourself at least 3 months of focused recovery work, and then another 3 months for the brain to kind of heal. So just just kind of unplugging from it by constantly saying, yeah, clearly sold my soul, whatever, disregarding, like that. Sarcastically, right? Next question is, should I quit drinking alcohol or smoking weed forever for full recovery from anxiety? Is there any connection between staying high and anxiety? Thank you. The easiest thing, the easiest way to put it would be to say that if you are trying to recover your brain from OCD, it's not really a good idea to add more substances that will confuse the brain further. I find that after drinking, for example, a lot of people feel a lot worse the next day, especially. Depends on your theme, but it depends on just an individual person, and then also depends on their theme. But generally, it's not a good idea. Same thing with smoking weed. So I would not, I would not recommend it. Um, because it's like if your brain's already going through something, like why push it to the next limit? If you're trying to numb yourself from feeling pain, that's not a solution. You need to do ERP to recover. You're just running away, and the more you run away, the more OCD gets worse, because you're not only running away, you're doing compulsions in between running away, so you're actually just wasting time and making OCD worse. So what are you doing, right? Get tough, start doing the recovery work. But the one thing I want to say, and this is as it relates to alcohol, is that you don't want to be obsessively not drinking from a position of, if I drink, what if I do something, right? Because there's an OCD theme that's related to that. What if I was drinking and I forgot something? That's very, very common. So if you find that you're getting those thoughts and you're afraid of drinking, then having a glass of wine, as long as you're of age, of course, is not a bad idea as an exposure exercise. But in terms of like heavy drinking, and this is what I was talking about, is that you don't need to mess up your brain. We need to heal your brain. Next question is, hello, I normally don't suffer from severe PRO, but for the last few years, I've been with a girl who has terrible drug past, although clean now. Hearing the things she's done in the past she has went through has turned my OCD slash retroactive jealousy very, very severe. If you could please have a response, it would mean the world. Well, first of all, you need to make up your mind of, is this someone you're gonna spend the rest of your life with? Are you this serious about the person? That would be one. Because if you're not that serious, this is something that is that you're getting yourself involved in, and this is giving you a lot of anxiety. So you need to be either fully in it or not in it. You know what I mean? Um, This is just my opinion on the situation. You can either live with someone's past or not. So you have to make a decision which one it is. And then move on with that decision. So her past is her past. You're moving on now, and kind of moving from there. In terms of the fact that you have already retroactive jealousy as a thing, on one side, if you're running away from the relationship because of that, that sounds like an avoidance behavior. So, and avoidance behavior just makes OCD worse. Now, on the other side, you're saying, I don't normally suffer from severe OCD. So it's hard for me to know to tell you what to do without knowing the what is actually bothering you, but you have to make up your mind of where you go from here. The one thing I can tell you is people who have retroactive jealousy as an OCD theme, no matter who they are with, they're gonna have the same problem. So it unless there's some special circumstance, it's really mostly not about the person. You can be with anybody and you will get the same suspicions, same what ifs, just slightly different details because different person, but really kind of very similar things. So if you're trying to see, should I be with this person or should I run away so I don't deal with OCD? Chances are whoever you're with next, you will also have this retroactive jealousy issue with. So you kind of need to separate those two things. That retroactive jealousy is one thing, and can you actually live with her past uh, um, is another thing. So try to take, my best advice would be to take them as separate things. Next question is, hi Ali, I have religious OCD and I doubt whether I am truly converted or not. A reason is because I don't see myself mourning for my sin as much. And the more I try, the more cold-hearted I seem. Is this OCD? Yes, this is OCD, and the trying to do things a certain way to achieve some sort of a feeling, achieve some sort of an emotion is the compulsion. Try to take it, however I feel is however I feel. It doesn't matter. Still OCD. I'm still disregarding. And it tells you, what if it's not OCD? Yes, it is. It's OCD. Actually, very, very common OCD. Next question is, hi Ali, could you tell how to stop repeating actions because of thinking some words? This happens all day long. Also, I think I asked you again, but this is called religious OCD or something else because the words are about the devil and death. Thank you. Yeah, it could be religious OCD. If it has the if it's talking about religious theme, but I would say it's more um yeah, I guess it's more of a religious. So it could be religious OCD or magical thinking OCD. It depends how, like, kind of in what direction is it going. Is it just saying, just stuff that has to do with religion, or does it say that, if you don't do certain action, then something bad is going to happen to someone. So you're tying like a silly action to harm happening, for example, right? That's more magical thinking OCD. That is magical thinking OCD, even if it's connected to religion, right? Or you can do religious/magical thinking OCD. It doesn't really matter what we call it. The point is you need to push through and stop the actions. So little by little, try to refuse. You can do, so say in the course of a day, I am refusing at least 3 times. Then the next day, 4 times, then 5 times, so on. Hi Ali. Does following a routine and staying busy helps with recovery rather than sitting around? If yes, then how? I am actually having videos come out next week on this topic, morning routine, evening routine. It absolutely helps when you're following a routine because it grounds you, that you know that no matter what, in the morning, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, then I have a plan. And try to also throughout the day include things that you like. Even if you kind of can't enjoy things much, you can enjoy it to some extent. Right. So, I like to have, say, my morning coffee, right? Well, coffee is kind of iffy, but you can have decaf or something, or half and half or something like that, but I enjoy this. Then I enjoy that. Then I also enjoy this, you know what I mean? So doing different things, to kind of, have those pillars throughout the day that, just set you up for success and make the situation better. Next question is, oh, actually, this is part of the same question. Can using too much mobile, watching movies, become a compulsion? How do I know if it's a compulsion? So if you are watching too much of anything and you feel like you need to, that's a compulsion. try to look at it this way. What happens if you eliminate it? Are you going to get anxiety? Are you going to be uncomfortable? If yes, then it can be, then it's a compulsion. Are you relying on it too much? Do you feel like I need to do it this way, or I need to do it a certain way, or I need to do it at this time, or whatever? You know what I mean? It's like a must, right? That's a compulsion, and it gives you anxiety if you don't do it. That's a compulsion. I would say try to be in nature more, go outside more, doing those kinds of things. Don't sit there staring at the screen, because the more you are by yourself, the more anxiety thoughts come in, because you don't have enough going on, so try to stay busy, but again, not stressed, just busy. Next question. I'm 4 months into recovery, thanks to you, Ali. Oh, the only cure is you. Oh, thank you. You're not the only cure. There's a lot of people out there who know what they're talking about, but they're dwarfed by the amount of people who don't know what they're talking about, I guess. But that's another story. Um, One question is something I'm not quite clear on in your videos. Could you please explain what you mean about the thoughts being seen as real? What do you mean by real? Thank you. I think you're doing reassurance. When I say they feel real, the thoughts feel very real, and the person can tell if it's a real thought or an OCD thought. If everybody could tell, oh, this is an OCD thought, right? Then it would be easy to say, well, okay, and you know but because the person's like, well, is it not, and that's why the person gets stuck. So what I say is being seen as real, that the person worries, what if they're real? If the person sees them as possibly being real, they feel it depends on the level of anxiety, but at a high level of anxiety, it's hard to recognize the difference between an OCD thought and then, well, I guess at almost any level of OCD, it's hard to recognize, but at 10 out of 10, it's really hard to recognize where there's an OCD thought and where it's not, right? For everybody else, it's clear, but for the person who's suffering, because they have feelings and emotions and images and whatever attached to it, right? And it's hard to tell the difference. Next question is, hi Ali, I'm done with my official theme, but now doing ERP. I'm obsessed with ERP and the recovery. I'm constantly asking myself, what should I say? When should I say, I don't care? Should I not? And I'm repeating it all the time in my head, thinking I'm getting crazy. Is this part of OCD recovery? So, you have to, it's just a switch. So you need to treat this thought the same as you treated your previous theme. Just choose to disregard. Don't make this complicated. Just choose to disregard anything to do with what if I'm not recovering correctly? Disregarding. I'm not going to check. I'm not going to analyze. I'm not going to listen to more Ali's or whoever's videos, because that's just, you're doing it for reassurance, and that's not going to answer some sort of a question, right? And then you want another question answered, and it just keeps going. So, yeah, I'm recovering correctly. I'm pushing forward. Doesn't matter. They're just treating it this way. Next question is, with the recovery, I've developed thoughts, not really obsessive, but normal thinking about whether my personality changes, whether I'm not mentally strong, unable, or liable. I get really frightened by thinking whether I'm crazy or I have something subconscious, like imagining that I start talking to myself alone in public or have strange behavior. It's awful. What can I do? So this is an OCD theme all by itself. So you need to treat all of these thoughts as an OCD theme, because it is. This is just pure OCD. You fear of going crazy. What if your personality changes? So any thought that's related to those themes will automatically be labeled, needs to be labeled OCD, and you need to push through. That's the end of the Q&A for today. I will be back with more tomorrow. I believe this will also be a 4 or 5 part series. So I'm going to hopefully answer all of them, or as many as I possibly can. I'm really trying to stick to the order of how long, like how quick the person asked after the video was released. The people that are waiting the longest get their questions answered first. So I'm really organized this time, so hopefully I can stick with that. I will be back, like I said, with more tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I do daily videos about all things related to OCD recovery. If you would like to do one-on-one recovery program with me, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. You can sign up from there. Please make sure if you're signing up, especially if you're signing up for a longer package, or a bigger package rather, make sure that you are booking all your sessions, so we do have enough spaces. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.